Golden Avalon chests are the best fame farm in the game right now. The latest update nerfed the mobs in them and they also buffed the chests, so now it's the best time it's ever been to do them. They are safe, they make a ton of silver, and anybody can do them. All the footage you're seeing right now are random people in my stream that joined the raid and had no idea what we were doing, and we still did it. Let me explain to you what you really need. There is two deal breakers you absolutely need. First is a good tank. I tanked all of this myself with 0 spec almost, and I had 1150 item power and I struggled quite a bit. I recommend at least 1200 item power, but 1250 is probably what you should really get. My build is simple: soldier boots because they are cheap, guardian armor for defensives and threat, one-handed mace for CC and threat, sarcophagus for threat and defense, and a soldier helmet because some of the bosses do a lot of damage and you cannot avoid it, so that 1.5 seconds of invulnerability are very important. Threat is the secret number that decides who the mobs will hit. You gotta stack it up as a tank. The other mandatory member in your group is a holy staff healer. I am sorry, nature boys, I know, please don't unsubscribe, okay? Hear me out, please. When they made the nature staff broken for soloing statics, they also nerfed your healing output to the ground, so now only a holy staff has enough healing output to keep a tank alive. Especially if I am the tank, because I like making those beta healers work, bro. Please, Medina, I don't wanna polish your plated butt anymore. Shut up, holy boy. Your holy build is simple. It's Divine Staff, Graveguard Helmet for a free heal ability, Mage Sandals for mana, Limbhorst Cape for more mana, and a Cleric Robe because sometimes you cannot stop healing to avoid damage and being immune to it is really good. Druid Robe is also decent. As a healer, your job is very hard. You have to keep the tank alive through really bad damage, and then you gotta heal all the dom-doms that stand on damage too. Red, circle, bad people. Okay, it's not that hard. For DPS you wanna bring big AoE weapons. The best ones are Permafrost for crowd control, Blazing Staff for insane damage, Badon Bow to interrupt abilities, Carving Sword to reduce the armor of mobs so you do more damage, and almost any other PvE weapon. Badon in particular is very nice because the Oathkeeper boys have an ability to buff themselves, and if you do not interrupt them, they can destroy the tank. Carving Sword is also very important. I like giving my Carving Sword to the noobiest dude in the team because even if they do bad damage and they suck, the armor shredding E is gonna be super valuable. If I were to make an ideal composition from the start, I would take a mace tank, a holy healer, a Badon bow, a carving sword, a blazing staff, permafrost, and a life course. Of course, anything with big AoE damage or AoE CC is very good. Then again, as long as you have one guy really carrying the meters, you can get away with a guy with a quarter staff and a guy with a nature staff DPSing too, because I did. For real, just get a decent tank, a decent healer, and a single decent DPS and fill the rest with random goobers. If you have one DPS that knows what the hell he is doing, as long as the other guys do some damage before they die to the red circles, you're gonna be fine. This is by far, by the way, the best way to boost a friend to max level really fast. Anyway, the way you go into Avalon reliably is you take the portal from Brazilian. It is still possible to do this if you do not have the Brazilian reputation. It is just way more inconvenient, as you gotta find a portal with enough charges in the black zone. You have spots for 7 people in the portal and half the time you find a golden chest right away, but if you don't, just roam the roads until you find one. But with the latest update, you can even journey back to Brazilian for very little money, so there is no shame in going back to Brazilian and trying for a new portal if you get bad luck. You have the blue chests, they are gonna be pretty easy, and if the chest is blue or purple, the loot is decent. Check for the chest color to see if it is worth doing. Then you have tier 6 golden chests. They spawn in almost any road, usually in groups of 2. Tier 6 golden chests are fairly easy and they have the most efficient fame right now, so even a common chest is worth doing. A blue chest is at least 1.5 million silver total in the chest, and an entire tier 6 clear should be about 600 to a million fame, and that's without premium. And that is just insane, by the way, because if you got a good group that knows what they are doing and they are well organized, you can reasonably clear an entire chest in 20 minutes. Finally, all legendary portal zones, you know, the ones with 20 charges, have a bunch of golden chests in them, but they are always tier 8. Tier 8 chests are the ones I am not gonna go over today, because 1, they are hard as hell, and 2, learning how to do the Avalonian construct boss will take an entire video. As far as I can tell, the update made them a little easier, but it is not something that you can do with random friends. You still need a well-organized team. Even tier 6 has a decent veto challenge, so I recommend you take Avalon bow to silence the mobs, and you will also need someone with a helmet of valor in your party to get rid of the nasty debuffs, including a debuff that reduces your healing and will make the tank die. I swear bro, the Kingmaker boys are way too overpowered. As a DPS you can also take Guardian Helmet. You sacrifice a little damage, but the active will help your team survive a lot. And yes, to survive some of these pulls, we're gonna have to cheat, we're gonna have to do split pulling. SBI, please do not ban me, this is a clever use of game mechanics, okay? Have one person pull one mob and run away in one direction until it resets. Then you have the team pull the other mob in the opposite direction and they also reset it. The mobs will run back to their spots, right? And if you time it right, you can pull the mob that just got back before the other guy makes it there, and they will pull separately. It is tricky and it doesn't always work, but some pulls you absolutely gotta split them, otherwise you cannot do them. By the way, SBI, if you wanna fix this exploit, please nerf the Oathkeeper boys, because nobody is gonna do them again without it. I am not gonna get a 2 million set just to survive that pull, let's be real. The actual chests are pretty easy. If you wanna see a guide specifically on tanking this, let me know. I don't know if people care about that such thing or not. But you need somebody marking a mob with a skull, and that means we gotta focus that mob. You can even keybind it in your keyboard to make it easier. This is traditionally done by the tank, and you usually start by focusing the lowest HP mob to the highest. Some mobs like the Spear Boy, the Kingmaker Boy, or the Assembler are super annoying, so you gotta kill them first though. As a tank, holding threat is kinda hard if the DPS or the healer really outgear you, but you can still make it easier by focusing on the right mob. And if you still cannot hold aggro, there is no shame in getting taunt in your armor to hold them better. Bosses sometimes have 2 mobs with them, so you have to pull them, kill one of them, then do the pull again, kill the other one, reset it again, and that way you can pull the boss alone. The bosses are fairly simple. Always remember, red, circle, bad, and you're gonna be fine. If your group does not have a lot of gear, especially the tank, you may have to taunt the boss and just kite it with your sprint on cooldown to survive it. But aside from that, just make sure that your group is doing their best to dodge all the damage. You may be wondering, what about the gankers? Well, hopefully you have 7 decently geared people in your group, so most people won't mess with you, but sometimes a ganking party shows up and your PvE builds stand no chance against them, so it will not be pretty. So far in about 10 hours of farming this, we encountered like 3 of these situations. One time we had to give up a chest right away in the last pool, and that was a shame. One time we mounted up and ran away, and the last time, let me say I sacrificed for their sins, boys. You see, when you get collapsed on by a group that can easily kill you, the best thing you can do is scatter away, okay? Because they are still gonna get one of you. But at least the other 6 people are gonna leave. The Venezuelan thirst for blood is gonna be quenched. We usually do 3 chests in a row, which is about 1 million silver in 40 minutes, and then we journey back. Of course, the loot is very random, and if you play in the off hours when there is the least people online, most of the chests are blue and purple, and that is easily triple the money. All in all, there is some downsides to this farm. First, compared to other farms I covered, this one takes a lot more gear. My tanking set is fairly cheap, and it is still 700k, and it will take well over an hour to pay for it. You also gotta put a group together, and you need at least 3 well-geared people with specific builds to pull this off. Even still, this is I believe the best fame per hour I have ever seen, and the loot is very good. Just in case you haven't heard, SBI made it super hard to solo green chests now, so the only other viable alternative for big money is the statics, and this is way more fun. Besides, this is a great way to practice on how to do group content before you do actual endgame stuff in an environment where people don't yell at you for standing in red circles. I say you take advantage of this farm fast because I can already feel SBI messing with the roads again. We have a giveaway today, 5.1 million worth of cool stuff, including this lizard boy, and 2 million silver in cash, generously donated by Baby Clown for the reason of God only knows. So the rules are simple: say catfish in your comment and you will automatically be signed up to the giveaway. You are gonna know the winner in the next video. Anyway, for the time being, I am live streaming on this channel from now on, so please subscribe and join the Discord to farm more Avalon roads with the boys.